Hi, welcome to Modern Wall Street's Trader Talk. Taking center stage with me is the one and only Peter Tuchman of QMS. Peter, welcome back. Nice to have you on.
Welcome back to you too.
Well, also taking center, and thank you for welcoming me back. Yes, it's good to be back. Well, also taking center stage, a lot of action in the markets. Let's start with the rebound today. Why is that?
I think we should talk about yesterday's sell-off. Okay, so you know what? It's funny. End of the summer, long Labor Day weekend, a lot of craziness happening with North Korea. Why was the market down 250, right? We've had 6 or 7 really up days last week for no particular reason except market economic data seemed strong, right? And maybe some chatter about the tax thing, tax reform of the president. There was like no bad news, so the market's drifting up. That's a good thing, right? But basically we had a long weekend, end of summer. The North Korea thing is just really a wild card, right? And we've got Houston, right? So you've got a lot of pressure. And my analysis of yesterday was a really anxious market, right? Whether it was profit taking after a long weekend, you know, the insurers got hit, the financials got hit, it's sort of uncertainty and anxiety and fear. Plus, and there was some follow through yesterday. I mean, it was a strong sell side, right? We closed down 250, even though we're still at 21.8, right? So you would think that at that level, the market would have been lower, but it's not. It's holding at a high level. So the 250 in a market this high was not that significant, although people were concerned would there be follow through, as we've seen. So everything that got hit yesterday, we have like a classic bounce back today. Okay, we're up 60. We were up 80 or over 100 this morning. You know, the financials that got hit yesterday. I think some of the utilities are bouncing back. We have another storm coming that could be even bigger than the Houston storm, right? So that's putting a little bit of fear in the market, but it's not dragging it down. I think what's interesting is, from the analysis I did this morning, asking around to people who I think are smarter than me, is that yesterday we saw market sell off, a flight to safety with gold. Gold was up 15. We're not coming out of that trade yet, right? Gold is basically flat with an up market. So we've got some Fed guy resigned this morning. Fisher was a big player. I don't think that's affecting the market, although it seems it's a shame because I think he was a good guy. And, you know, there was a lot of talk about tax reform yesterday, whether they're going to go through with that. We've got a huge storm looming. We have a market seems strong. That's a lot of information to throw at you, but, you know, where does that leave us?
Right, and like you said, there are some villains in this story. There are. North Korea could still be testing bombs and testing Trump's patience. We have a looming storm. We have the debt ceiling. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be a bad ending. There could be a happy ending. We have some buyers stepping in today. What kind of buy orders are you seeing? What are people buying?
I haven't really, you know, I had sort of a crazy morning. I have not really looked at where it's coming in. My understanding is that the financials have bounced back, right? You've got IBM up $1. I mean, you know, your normal, the Dow is up. The S&P's up smaller, the Dow's up a little more, so some of those sort of, you know, buy American names seem a little bit firmer, and the financials. Volume-wise, we got 200 million. It's light, right? So I think it's just a normal little bounce back from a solid down day yesterday.
Okay, and like you mentioned, we got to talk about the Fed. We're seeing some action there. The doves are stepping in ahead of a mid-low inflation. We also had Stanley Fischer step down. We have the beige book today. What are your expectations?
You know what? I don't know. I've sort of been out of the picture. I was out for a few days, so I'm not sure really what that's going to be. But, you know, I think it's a day at a time right now. Anything can happen. We may be headline driven, you know. We don't know what North Korea is going to do. We've got a lot of wild cards out there. So let's see how the weekend's up. It's only Wednesday.
It's only Wednesday, but it's always nice to have you on a Wednesday. Peter, nice to see you. Welcome back. Glad to be back with you, and I'll see you next Wednesday.
Deal.